The Shoemaker and the Elves. There was once an old shoemaker. He owned an old shoe shop. He worked on the first floor, and he and his wife lived on the second floor. The shoemaker and his wife were very poor. Few people visited his shop, so he did not make much money. One day, the shoemaker told his wife, "One last pair of shoes. That's all I can make. We don't have any money. What are we going to do?"
"It is late, so we should go to bed. Make the shoes in the morning,"
answered the shoemaker's wife. The shoemaker and his wife went upstairs and went to bed. The next morning, the shoemaker and his wife went downstairs. There was something on the table. It was a pair of shoes. "Look at these," the shoemaker said. "What beautiful shoes! It's magic." Just then, a lady came into the store. The lady looked at the shoes and said,
"What beautiful shoes! I'll take them."
She gave the shoemaker 3 gold coins for the shoes. 3 gold coins! Now I can make 2 more pairs of shoes," the shoemaker said. So he went out and bought some more leather. He came back and cut the leather.
"It is late. Make them in the morning,"
said his wife. The shoemaker and his wife went upstairs and went to bed. The next morning, the shoemaker and his wife came down. They saw 2 beautiful pairs of shoes on the table. "Look at these," he said. "More magic!" The shoemaker put the shoes in the window. A man saw them. He walked into the shop. "How beautiful they are! I must buy them. Here are 6 gold coins." "Now I can buy enough leather to make 4 pairs of shoes," the shoemaker said. So he went out and bought some more leather. He came back and cut the leather.
"It is late,"
said his wife.
"so we should go to bed."
The shoemaker and his wife went upstairs and went to bed. The next morning, the shoemaker and his wife came down. They saw 4 beautiful pairs of shoes on the table. "Look at these," he said. "They're beautiful, even more magic." A while later, 2 customers entered the store. They looked at the shoes and said,
"Those shoes are beautiful. We'll take them."
They paid the shoemaker 12 gold coins for the shoes. The shoemaker and his wife were very happy. But they wondered, "Who is making these shoes? We must know." That night, the shoemaker cut the leather for the shoes, but he and his wife did not go upstairs. Instead, they hid downstairs. They waited and waited. At midnight, 2 elves came into the shoemaker's shop. They jumped onto the table.
"Look at this leather,"
one said. "Let's make some beautiful shoes with it," said the other. The elves worked hard all night long. They made several beautiful pairs of shoes. When the sun rose, they left. "Those elves are very kind," said the shoemaker.
"You're right,"
answered his wife.
"We should do something for them."
"What can we do?" asked the shoemaker.
"I know,"
said his wife.
"Their clothes looked poor. Let's make some clothes for them."
So the shoemaker and his wife made some tiny clothes for the elves. They sewed tiny pants, shirts, hats, and boots for the elves. Then they put the new clothes on the table. That night, the shoemaker and his wife hid again. At midnight, the elves came into the shoemaker's shop. When they jumped onto the table, they saw the clothes.
"What are these?"
one said.
"Are these clothes for us?"
"Yes," said the other. "They are for us." The elves put their new clothes on. Then they danced with each other.
"We cannot stay here any longer,"
said the first elf.
"You're right. They know about us.
Now it's time for us to go,
said the second elf.
Goodbye, Shoemaker.
They said. The elves left and never came back. But now the shoemaker could make good shoes. He worked hard, too. So he and his wife became very rich, and they lived happily ever after.